we needed an edge. And I think Jaylen Brown sets an edge. And you need to win a championship, guys that are of that ilk, I think, that are comfortable being uncomfortable, if that makes sense.
It makes sense.
And he is one of those. And so the deal came down, and then, you know, I didn't know Jaylen at all. Not like you guys probably know him with the deal. I talked to him the day after, and I just said, listen, we need, don't ever underestimate that you're a champion and that there's power in that. So use that with this team. We don't have that on our team. This is pre-LeBron.
Right.
Okay? Different then. And I said, we need you to lead. I'm going to ask you to lead.
What up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Cousins. I'm VC. Got my cousin over here. What's up?
What up, y'all? We want y'all to be a part of the fam. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube or where you get your podcasts, and be sure to follow the boys on social at Vincent T. Mac. And shout out to our presenting sponsor, FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Cuzzo, we got a special guest today, two-time NBA Executive of the Year, four-time NBA champion, my old, they don't have it on here, but my old guy that used to handle my stuff, my manager, Bob, the one and only Myers.
That's beautiful. That was well done, guys.
The one and only.
That was great.
My guy.
That's right.
We go back.
I was thinking on the way over, 25 years. I've known you 25 years.
Bob.
Longer than 25 years.
Yes.
Yeah, I probably met you when I was early 20s.
When I was 18.
Yeah. And you're now like 58.
What does that make me then?
But no,
61.
over 25 years.
Yeah.
You still look pretty good.
You saw me come in as an 18-year-old in 1997, walking into the office, Telling Associates.
Yeah.
And you were just starting out.
Yeah.
Right?
Kobe, my first day in that office with Arn, I went in to interview to be an intern. And Kobe was sitting, you know that little lounge area he had?
Yep.
You know this. And he was sitting on the couch, and he had, remember retro jerseys were the deal? He had a Joe Montana retro jersey, 49ers, number 16. And I literally walked in. He was the first person out. Because you know that little lounge was right. There was no security.
Right.
There's Kobe Bryant. And they had just lost to Utah when he missed those shots.
Yeah.
And this dude was so confident. I said, hey, I'd like to meet you. And he started talking. And he said, I'm going to win 10 NBA championships, and then I'm going to finish my career in Italy.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, sounds about right,
Yeah.
right? Sounds
Yeah,
about yeah, that sounds about what he'd say. But no, and you were how many years after him?
One.
I was right
the
away.
next year.
Yeah.
Coming into the office, I remember Elisa, who's still with me today. Oren told her to take me shopping, and boy, we went to the mall, and I just went to buying everything out of that mall, man. And I ended up buying some like orange Timberland boots. I don't know what the hell I was doing. I was orange Timberland boots.
Because you just knew I could do it, so I'm gonna do it.
Hey,
I take those.
You guys,
it's free.
You two guys today, your NIL deals. I mean, come on.
Gosh. I had $250 back then.
I can't imagine.
Yeah. Think about that.
I had $250 waiting on me back then.
Yeah.
So
But now,
I can't imagine.
Couple mil.
yeah.
And in Florida, there's NIL in high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you would have been paid to go to high school.
So there's kids coming in high school,
Getting
imagine
paid.
at 14 years old, you're making 75 to 125
to go to a high school.
Yes.
Go to a high.
play.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Like I just can't imagine what that looks like. And and with today's kid, you would know this. I mean, we know it, but you're in the AAU program. I'm kind of stepping into it, but like with kids today, the motivation, like what does that do to their motivation? That worries me, because I'm like, you're paying these kids this kind of money off of the potential.
Yeah.
But if you're 14 years old and you're getting $75,000, which is life changing for some of these kids, do you still have that motivation? Some will, a lot won't.
Yeah, I just think for me, it all depends on the drive from that kid.
Yeah.
What was instilled in them.
Yeah,
right?
completely.
And where their maturity is where they are at that moment. Because I think for me, I was 17, 18 when I started getting that recognition. Then when I turned 18, I became a multi-millionaire, signed a freaking $12 million with Adidas, got drafted. So I was mature enough. I was able to handle that at the time.
Yeah.
But it was so many kids now and then that just can't handle that. So it all depends on their upbringing, their mental, their discipline, and how mature they are at that age.
I think what's tough now, and you guys have boys that play. Yeah, both you. So my girls dance. They don't. But I think what's hard now is, so one of your boys isn't, one, playing enough as he should. Two, his team's not good enough. Three, not getting enough shots. He comes home and says, Dad, I should be blah. They got to run more plays for me. I'm only getting 15 shots up. The hard thing now is, do you guys say, or do you say, hey, we're leaving school, we're going to new school?
Mm-hmm.
Because what you're talking about is, you guys, if North Carolina didn't go well for you, you weren't just going to leave.
Yeah.
You would walk into Coach Smith's office.
I went through it my freshman year.
Yeah. Now you might have left. You might have said, I'm out of here, and left North Carolina.
Yeah.
And nobody would have thought any problem with that.
Right.
You might have played for 4 high schools.
Yeah, it's a lot of those kids.
And so now a kid gets to the NBA, and it's hard, and he doesn't know what to do.
What to do?
What's he going to do? Demand a trade as a rookie? No. So now a kid that may have had to go through something hard to get to the NBA got bailed out every time.
Yeah.
Whether it's money or talent, because talent can bail you out many, many times.
And it has.
But in the NBA, everybody's talented. And you walk into a GM's office and you're a rookie and go, what's going on? And the GM goes, what do you mean, what's going on? You're not good. You go talk to the coach. I want to be traded. What? Nobody can do that. Now, could you guys 6 years in ask to be traded after you prove what that's different though.
Different.
You had to weather some stuff. But that's the thing now, because if I was evaluating you two guys coming in and I got to make up one thing that didn't exist, I'd say, I want a tool to measure how much they love basketball. That's all I want to know. And I put it on your forehead. It says, out of 10, Tracy's a 9. Vince is a 9. Boom. I don't care how much money they make. They're a 9. But some guys, you measure that 3.
So what is that criteria for you that gives you, what is the boxes that check off, okay, he's good here, he's not so good here. He approaches the game, whether it's his approach or the way he works, the love. What is that criteria? What are those boxes they have to check off?
I think for me, you guys are different. You guys, your opinion means as much as mine. How much do you hate to lose? Like if I walked in the locker room and you were on the team I was the GM of, and we lost, I want to see what you look like then.
How you react to it.
And it may be,
I like that.
You don't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
It may be you're laughing. It may be you are pissed for 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
It may be that whatever you are, or whatever you do, I want to know that part. And I said this a long time ago when the Warriors were in 14, Jermaine was on the team. Jermaine O'Neal, who I worked with too. And Jermaine was like year 16, 17. He came back for that year. Because I asked him, I said, we need some leadership. Because that's not enough. There's not enough of that either, by the way, in the NBA.
They ran him out.
Yeah, it's very hard to find leadership at any level. So I thought our team, and Jermaine is a very, very good leader, I think. And so he came to the team. We lost the Clippers in 7 games. And he was banged up, trying to play. His wrist was jacked. We lose in 7 games. And I'm looking at the team going, well, Steph's looking like he could be something. Clay, Harrison Barnes, some of our young guys. Draymond played in that series. And Jermaine calls me 3 days after we lost. And I'm thinking he's going to tell me he's retired or whatever. He goes, hey, man, listen to me. Do not break this team up. And I was kind of like, what's so great about this team? We just lost in the first round. And he goes, I've been in a lot of locker rooms at the end of a season, and this team knows how to lose. He said it bothered them the right amount. And hearing that from Jermaine, to me, meant a lot. Because he played 16 years. You guys say, one of you say the same thing.
Yeah.
And you're on your way out. You're like, I'm done, just so you know.
Right.
Don't mess this up.
Right.
And so when you're looking at these things, I am always surprised, and you guys I'd love to hear your point. I didn't understand how much players want to make the All-Star game.
Hell yeah.
You guys got to be honest, because I remember talking to Iguodala one year, and I go, "What are we doing?" He goes, "All-Star game. Wait till the All-Star game's over, and then we'll be right."
Tell
me about that. Like, I know it's an ego thing.
But
forget about the money. You guys had enough money.
But that was the driving motive. That was the driving factor.
It wasn't the money, is what I'm saying. It was the status, is what I think.
That was the next thing. I said, the incentives, like he's saying, you get like from the shoe deal, from some teams or whatever. But it's like you can say Tracy McGrady, All-Star. NBA All-Star.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like that kind of follows it.
It solidifies you as like
it's a notch on the belt.
Yeah.
Right. You feel like.
But will you play the wrong? Okay, fine. I see guys playing the wrong way to get that notch. And I'm kind of like, what do we now? Look, it's not. I'm the G. I want to win. I don't get any. I'm not. Let's say you had 4 All-Stars. Okay, great. I understand from your standpoint, but when I would see guys, I don't understand how you guys see it in the teammate and don't have a problem with it. Does that make sense?
Because you as a GM looking at the big picture. Yeah. Like I'm putting this team together
and
to win.
Let's say you're on the same team and you're jacking around to make the All-Star team. He doesn't go up to you and go, "Vince, what the hell are you doing?" He won't do that. I always looked at play because, but you got to explain, because it's just like, hey, that's a real thing. And you guys both made a lot. So I don't know and I'm not saying it's a problem, but I'm saying when you're looking at it, I always would look at it from the standpoint of I only get recognized, if I want to be selfish, if we win a championship. That's the truth. For me, that's it. One thing. You guys might get recognized for making an All-Star game, All-NBA, max contract, shoe deals. So I understand that, but I never was good at, that's like a new thing for me to figure out.
Right.
I didn't understand. I had to just observe that and be like, how do I work around that? Or how do I get guys that do that and want to win?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'll go back to what you were saying about Jermaine in the conversation you had with him about breaking that team up. And I got a similar story or something, similar to that. Jaylen Brown, right? Jaylen Brown came to my house, and we had to sit down. And he had some things and this was many years ago before they won the championship. Right. And there was a lot of talk circulating around, breaking up this core with he and JT. So, and I was watching how they play with each other, right, year after year. And this particular year, they fell short. And it was a year where he was frustrated and was thinking about making a change, right? The media is talking, the fans are talking. I said, JV, you got something good, bro. Like, don't break this up, because I see, a championship out of y'all two at some point. And we had him on our pod, and we was talking about this story, and I just felt like he couldn't see, because I have no emotional attachment to any of the Boston Celtics or what they're building, but he couldn't see what I was seeing. Right. And that's why I pointed that out to him, and a year or two later, they eventually won a championship. Yep. So now I can all too well understand what Jermaine was seeing. With that team.
And I think what happens now, you guys tell me, and maybe you had this, I think there's less of this now than when you guys played. There's not a lot of honest conversations in the NBA, I don't think. Like, there's a coaches are often scared to get fired, especially with guys like you. They're not going to mess with guys like you. In a film session, in a practice, in a game.
Man, that's why I miss Jeff Van Gundy, bro. That's why I hate that. Once he stopped coaching the Rockets, he didn't coach no more, because what you are describing is a coach that is the total opposite of that.
Yeah.
He's one of those coaches that he's going to tell you what you don't want to hear, but what you need to hear. Sure. And he's an honest coach. So we will come into practice one day. We don't know what's going on. We will come into practice one day. No balls, nobody is shooting. Right? Nobody is stretching. He would tell everybody to line up on the wall, right? So we all lined up on the wall, and from 1 to 15, he's going to tell you to your face what he expects from you, what your role is, right?
Sound like his brother.
So what that does for me as the leader of the team, or as the vet for the team, I know I can hold you accountable now because I know what to expect out of you. Right. So for me, Jeff, man, just to have that honesty amongst the team, and we all know what to expect from everybody on this team. There's no surprises.
Yeah. And it's crazy that you played for, I don't know how many coaches, but that one jumps out as far as just hitting you right between the eyes.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah. Just the structure, the teaching, the coaching, right?
Just
Everything.
Yeah. That's what it was when we came into the league. That's what the league was like. And it wasn't always, you get those fine sheets like that. It wasn't the executive would walk in. You were worried about being late, but the coach didn't have to worry about managing that because up top was going to come in and take care of that. They're like, nah, you see that pink slip, like, golly. But like, it goes back to what you're saying. A lot of these guys, current players now, you can't have those honest conversations because they cannot handle it.
They can't handle it.
And here's the problem. They can't handle, well, it goes back to what we talked about earlier. Like, where's the perseverance?
Yeah.
Where's, I can take criticism.
Yeah.
And I'm okay. Because this person just wants to win like me. And the thing now is, though, this player, if you want to, whatever player empowerment, whenever that changed towards, do you understand the power of an NBA player? Do you guys actually understand, as far as any other sport? The only power that is equivalent to an NBA star is an NFL quarterback.
Yes.
And they don't act like they, when a team loses in the NFL, let's say you guys lost in a playoff game. You're up there 30 minutes after you lost. Hey, you think this team's good enough? What do you think about requesting a trade? You think you're going to stick around? The media doesn't do that to the NFL quarterback. They don't push him to say, you need to get out of here to win. Where with you guys, now you've got so much power. And if one of you two in the prime of your career, all you have to do is this. Let's say I'm the GM. Hey, you got 2 minutes? Hey, look, I'm done here. Do you understand that could mess up the organization for 5 years?
Yeah. It happened.
Yeah, man. It's like I did. Yes. Yeah, and it did.
Yeah.
You did that, and it did.
Yeah.
And in that situation, you had a right to, I believe, my opinion, not because I'm sitting here next to you. Some players, I think, misread their situations. Some players don't. Some players like, this is messed up.
Mm-hmm.
I got so many years I can play here. Get me out of here.
So let me ask you that. Being in that position, when the guy comes in there, are you like, okay? Or do you, I don't want to say talk him off the ledge, but do you now kind of articulate that to them? Like, hey, look, like there's a lot of these opportunities when you walk away from this, a lot of things can happen good or bad for you and this team.
Okay, so good question. What I try to do with that is, if it gets to that point, I've failed. Meaning like, you got kids. If you wait until they walk into your house, Dad, he's 17, I'm moving out. If you're trying to convince him not to move out in that moment, you're screwed.
Yeah,
because he's already
made up his mind.
So if I let you get that far, then I'm in trouble. I will have to have thought I did every single thing I could to stop that from happening. And then you come in, I go, listen, man, you tried, I tried. Let's figure out the best situation. But if I don't try and I wasn't ahead of you trying, and you walk in there and we don't have a relationship, and we haven't had that conversation, and I'm blindsided, then I'm in trouble.
I mean, about that, like, you won championships, you won Executive of the Year. What made you come back to the front office to kind of do it again and build again?
It's hard to find competition.
Yes.
I think you guys know.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I didn't play in the NBA, but and that's why I didn't love the agency thing, because I wasn't competing. I love getting to know you. I love getting to know players. I love being around. I never thought I'd be around the NBA that close. But then when I realized there might be another opportunity to compete for someone like me, you either have a choice to coach or be an executive if you can't play. And I don't have enough money to own. And so that's your choice. So for me, stepping away, there's two things I missed. I don't know if I say this right, the locker room, like the people, like the people. Like you guys, I bet you missed that.
Absolutely.
The camaraderie.
Absolutely.
Like fighting for a cause. Like we're all pulling in the same direction. No jobs can mimic that, in my opinion. No, there's no industry where you're all trying to win this trophy that only one team gets.
Right.
And you're all killing yourself to get it. That doesn't exist. You win or you lose 82 times a year in the playoffs. And I missed that fight and that competitiveness. And so trying to figure out how to feel that again was probably the motivation.
And Mac, before you ask this question, I'm going to tell this quick story.
No,
seriously, before you say something. We were sitting in the playoffs, and I want to say it was Boston. We saw you in the locker room.
Yeah.
You remember? And you said, when you said, we're talking about the team, you said to us, and I don't know, when I was coming over here, I thought about it, you said, this team will get better soon. Just be patient.
Yeah, he said that.
You remember that? He said that. You said that, you're like, we'll be there soon. We're going to get there.
Yeah.
Like just your belief in, is that belief in knowing you and knowing what you're capable of? Or like you obviously you got to say those things, like you look at a team, like we're going to win a championship. You have to put it out there to believe it, or you knew deep down at that point, this roster was going to get better. Not saying you're going to get a LeBron and a Jaylen Brown. I think you have
to have, like, let's say, bad example. You guys are playing in a league and I'm your GM and we lose. And I have to believe that we're going to fix whatever we need to fix to win. I have to believe, like, I can't play, so my skill has to be putting something together that can succeed. I have to believe that. Just like if I say to you guys, like, can you give me 20 a night? You go, yeah. Can you be 22 next year? You go, yeah, I can do that for you. I have to believe
what I'm telling you.
Yeah,
right.
I have to believe it. But I have to know, the hard part about putting a team together is you can trade 5 first-round picks. You can trade 2. You can never trade them. You can sign one of you 2. You can sign a mid-level guy. You can draft a young guy. You can draft, he was more ready to go than you in high school. I could take a chance on a Tracy McGrady, and not know, and then you hit a home run. You can, and maybe you get that wrong. And so what's hard about GM is you just have to keep at it. And I just knew, like, I'll keep at it to get it right. Otherwise, what are we doing, right? I was looking at, like, if you're not moving towards trying to win a championship, for me at least, I don't see another point to doing these things. That is the point of it all. And you have to be each day moving in that direction and actually believing that. Yeah. Right? That's what I was saying.
Sixers lose in the playoffs, and you're preparing for the future, for the offseason. How are you going to get better? Talk to us about the evaluation process after that last game going into the summertime of how you trying to make the Sixers better. Because we know there are some big transactions that you guys gained this offseason. So talk about the evaluation process and how everything transpired.
Started with ownership made a change in the executive space with Daryl and asked me to help hire somebody new. And so that's a hard thing to do. I don't think that I wish there was, like, a more of a pool of, like, obviously great executives. Mm-hmm. Like, you guys should be. I mean, I just want to have, like, but Tracy, it's hard. I'm not saying you can't do it or you can't do
tough.
it. It's a sacrifice.
Yes. Yeah.
You understand? Like, it is. So when I was tasked with, like, let's find some leadership, knowing what I could help, I was looking for somebody that I thought exhibited some of the things I valued. And so I interviewed a bunch of guys actually here in LA, and Gansey, the guy we ended up hiring, stood out as far as, like, he had LeBron before. He had seen the rise of Cleveland. He'd been there for, I think, 15 years. So he'd been around that. And then he'd also been around when LeBron left and everybody stopped watching. And then the Cavs got built back up. And Kobe Altman was a big part of that. And they got good ownership and they've done a great job there. And so listening to him say, how did you manage those LeBron kind of scrutiny years and winning, and then he leaves, and then you kind of, like, buried and then crawl. I liked his story for that. Yeah. I liked that he felt like, to me, somebody that had a great relationship with players, with coaches, easy to talk to. So then ultimately, Josh Harris, Dave Blitzer agreed. We hired him. And I felt like in him, I had a guy that I thought exhibited, like I said, the things that would give us a chance. And this is pre-Jaylen Brown. This is like, Jaylen Brown was not like we lost to the Knicks and we're gonna go get Jaylen Brown. Mm-hmm. Like that's not what happened. That's not what happened. Then you start hearing there was a possibility, and the job then became, is this a real thing? With Jaylen Brown, is it a real thing? And I think Brad Stevens is one of the most straight shooters in the league. So when you work in the NBA as an executive, you ultimately usually have at least one or two, I don't want to say transactions with every other GM. So if I call Tracy, I go, hey, you want to make a deal? He might be like, yeah. And then he does it. I mean, it's like, I know you're not this way, but you have to understand, like, he's honest, or he might tell me what I want to hear, or he might lie to me. This dude might just lie. He lied to me 2 years ago. He's going to lie to me again. That's not Brad Stevens. So when Brad Stevens responded with, what are you offering? then you knew
It's
that there was a shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so then it becomes 50 conversations towards both organizations did a great job not leaking that, which is impossible.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
It's
That's
literally
damn near
impossible. And by the way, having been in a job where we had high-profile players in Golden State, Brad ultimately, and that organization understandably is very sensitive to like rumors around a guy like Jaylen Brown. So I think they appreciated like, be quiet, don't talk about this, which we didn't, and they didn't. And so it ended up just day by day getting legs, and ended up, and you'd have to have Brad on, which I think you should. He's a great dude. Like, have him on one time. I can't presume like what I can't sit here and say why they did what they did. I'm not going to do that.
Right.
Why did we do what we did? We thought that youth, we thought that his game, his leadership, Jaylen, you know him. I know you're friends with him. We needed an edge, and I think Jaylen Brown sets an edge. And you need to win a championship, guys that are of that ilk. I think that are comfortable being uncomfortable, if that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense.
And he is one of those. And so the deal came down, and then, I didn't know Jaylen at all. Not like you guys probably know him with the deal. I talked to him the day after, and I just said, listen, don't ever underestimate that you're a champion and that there's power in that. So use that with this team. We don't have that on our team. This is pre-LeBron.
Right.
Okay? Yeah. Different then. And I said, we need you to lead. I'm going to ask you to lead. And I don't know that he'd ever had somebody maybe say that directly to him. Like, we need you to lead.
I told him that.
You did too. Great.
Yeah. I told him that.
Because I think players should be tasked with that more.
100%.
Because the truth is, you guys put it on the line more than anybody. So what's wrong with taking that responsibility? Take it.
Yeah. Especially if you know the individual and you know he's capable of
he can do it.
Yes.
Yes. And like, you might lead differently than you, but the way Jaylen presents, I think he has that in him. And so to ask somebody to do something I think they actually are equipped to do and probably want to do, I think it's just then letting him go.
Yeah.
And then helping him. Like, hey, Jaylen, you can't talk. The way you did that, that's not going to work with Vince.
Yeah. And then you all of a sudden get another guy who's been in that position in LeBron. Because you talk about how that kind of
because we didn't hear about that.
Well, again, like I think so nobody heard because I'll answer the question. What do you guys? Why do you? I'm sure you probably answered this, but why do you think he chose Philadelphia?
I mean, I think it gives him the best chance to win a championship.
Period.
Yeah.
Period.
Okay, why don't we ever just stop right there?
Yeah, because we didn't hear about.
I know,
Philly.
but like. You guys played because when I said on the podcast, I believe, like I go, if you hook me up to a polygraph, forget who I work for. Ask me where I think he has the best chance to win.
Right. But also as basketball heads, like we got to take into consideration, yes, we look at this team as the best chance for him to win, but we also look at the center in Joel Embiid that hasn't been healthy for the last couple years.
But fair.
But structure.
Totally. By the way, if he had no issue, then it's done. Like, forget it. It's nothing to talk about. Yeah, so sure. I'm sure there was a pause of like, okay, is he gonna be healthy? Now, if you see him working out like lately, he's got the message. He's doing it. But the question then is, I think if you want to take away something from this is what I would tell anybody watching or you too. Take away, if you ever questioned the motivations of LeBron, he chose the hardest path, I think. Now you might say best chance to win. He goes back to Cleveland. He's made man. Like
Hold on, Bob. Hold up. What you mean the hardest path to
like,
what?
Okay, sorry. He chose the one that was. There's only one reason. It's to win. It wasn't because I played there before. I grew up there. I want to play with my friend. It was because I want to win. So I'm going to go where I want to go. It gives me the best chance to win. Does that make sense?
100%.
Yeah, but is that the hardest?
I think he could. If you're just talking about winning, I think
the hardest road is staying
where he was.
That's the hardest.
Okay, yeah.
That is the hardest.
And I don't know. You'd have to have him on, ask him that.
But I'm not going to knock him just because he goes from team to team and tries to win a championship.
Yeah, and I don't think he should be.
Totally different.
Yeah, that's
era.
a different thing.
Like,
I guess what I was saying is, would it have been easier to go back to go to play in Miami or Cleveland, or do you guys think no?
considering
I think
what's
going
at
back
stake,
to those teams, the challenge would be different.
the challenge would be different. But going back to those teams, there's no expectations. And it's crazy to put the
I know, but
expectation
that's
on
my
a 41, 42
point.
year old.
That's my point. The expectations are going to be different now.
For sure.
And he welcomed that by making the decision he made.
Yeah.
So when I say hard, I guess that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, from that regard, I got you.
But I think like if we just took 2 seconds to say, why did he go? And both you guys go, because I think he thinks the best chance to win.
Yeah.
Why can't our society just accept that reason?
Because it's LeBron freaking
But
James.
hasn't he made winning kind of his whole pursuit? Every
Rob, he's gonna have a lot of headaches from this entire season.
We'll have to have this conversation another time.
Okay, I don't know. I'm just
seriously
about to find out.
Cousins is brought to you by FanDuel. Baseball fans, think you know who's hitting a homer today? Well, FanDuel is giving you a free chance to call your shot with daily dingers.
Joining the action is easy. Just make your free pick on who's hitting a home run in their game. And if you're right, you'll get a profit boost to use on your next bet for a chance at extra winnings.
You've got nothing to lose and a lot to gain. And don't forget, you can make a free pick every day during the MLB season. Just another reason why FanDuel is the home for home runs.
So, are you ready to play your game today? Join all the action at FanDuel.com/cousins.
That's FanDuel.com/cousins to play daily dingers and make your free pick on who's hitting a homer.
Play ball and swing for the fences on FanDuel, an official partner of the MLB. 21 plus select states for Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino. 18 plus DC, Kentucky, Wyoming. No purchase necessary. Opt-in request bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET. Call 1-888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org/chat, Connecticut. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org, Maryland. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org. Call 1-800-327-5050, Massachusetts. Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY. Text HOPE-NY, New York. Call 1-877-770-7867, Louisiana. You know, Cuzzo, the older you get, the more you appreciate a little peace of mind. We're on the road, we're working, we've got families. You just want to know things are good at home without having to think about it all day.
That's why Xfinity Shield is pretty cool. It's like a force field for your home, with smart features built right into your Wi-Fi. Your Xfinity gateway has Wi-Fi motion detection, which can detect movement in your home through changes in the Wi-Fi signal. No cameras needed.
So if you're out and movement is detected, you can get an alert and have better sense of what's happening back home. And I like that it looks out for what's happening online too.
Xfinity CyberSecure helps protect your connected devices from threats and risky sites as soon as they connect. When you've got kids, everybody's got a device. Somebody's always online. Having that protection built in, that's one less thing to worry about.
Exactly. Reliable Xfinity Wi-Fi with Wi-Fi motion detection and CyberSecure included. Peace of mind built into your Wi-Fi, we can get with that. Xfinity, imagine that.
Restrictions apply, select plans only, Xfinity Internet and compatible equipment required. As an executive, and I gotta ask you this, does it ever, and I have seen it, we see it all the time, but I wanna ask you personally, has it ever come a time, and I don't know if you're gonna,
I think I was about to ask
I don't know if you're gonna tell me the truth about this, but I gotta ask anyway. Has it ever come a time where it becomes personable to you? To where you get too emotionally and your emotions get the best of you on the decision that you make? Because of the
No, I'll tell you that. It never did. But had I stayed in Golden State, it might have.
Okay.
Like if I had to move off of Clay, I might have had a hard time with that. If I had been there and like I had to do something with Draymond or Steph or something like that, that would have been personal.
Yeah.
Because of what we went through together. Guys like Iguodala, Livingston, guys that won multiple championships. If I don't feel then what the hell was I doing? If I don't have a relationship with those guys, now there's not 10 of them. But there's a few guys where I would have a hard time. I think I'd still do the right thing for the organization, but it would be really hard to tell a guy like all that guy did for my life my life, like personally.
Yeah.
Forget about the organization, like which is what you're hired to do what's best for the organization when you're executive. But when you win and win multiple championships with people that played and gave everything and made changed my life personally, not the organization's, mine, how can I not let that affect me?
Right.
You understand? Like, so there could have been situations where it got there. I never really had to deal with that. But I was never a guy, because I would always try to see whatever was good in the player and focus on that. And understand, like, people don't totally know what it's like to be you guys. Your life, as much as people want to be an NBA player, it's not a perfect life, you know? And people watching this are going to go, what are you talking about? These guys, they play in the NBA. They're also, getting to know you. I know you. I don't know you as well. I know the stuff you've been through. So as a person, I always made it feel like I'm going to, at least if you walk in and you go, hey, I don't want to be here. I would want to try to make, especially if you had given the best you could, to put you in a situation. Now, different question. One time a player, let me ask, okay, let's say you walk in my office and you go, how should I handle this? Because I hear this all the time. He lied to me.
Yeah.
They don't tell me the truth. This organization.
You're talking about a player to a
player gets traded. And he says they lied, or
they as in management or coach?
Management or coach. So let's say you walk in, your names are in the trade rumor. You walk in my office, you go, you can trade me? What should I say? This happened. I'll tell you what happened with the player. But what do you think I should do?
Player comes in and asks you that question.
You say to me, Hoops Hype, social media, wherever I'm working, they're trying to trade Vince Carter. They're trying to trade. You're in trade rumors to the point where, like, everybody knows you're in a trade rumor. Now, you haven't been traded. Nobody said anything to the organization. You walk in one day and you go, F this. I'm going to find out what the hell's going on around here.
Right.
Because you're sick of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you're a human being.
Right.
You're tired of it.
Right.
So you come in, you go, hey, you got a minute? Yeah, what's up? You gonna trade me? What should I say? And I did. I'll tell you what I said, but what should I say?
What should you say?
I mean,
what should I say?
I think.
I mean, honestly, I feel like
give him an honest answer.
Yeah. But what is that? I agree. But what is that?
You tell
he's
him
on the team right now. I don't have a trade. I have not he's not in a trade. So I'm not like, nothing's happened yet. But
so
he's in the room.
I would tell him that.
You tell him the truth. There's nothing to be traded. Like there's
nothing on the table right now. But
I can tell you what they're saying that I'm saying. You're hearing from the horse that's not a thing.
Yeah. There's nothing on the table. There's nothing that I've said to have these rumors out here about you.
Right.
There's never been a conversation with any other team about you.
From me.
Yeah.
So what they're saying out there, that is created from them, not from here.
Right. That's good. I don't think I did as good as that. You want to know what I said?
Oh,
you know what I said? I said maybe. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
So it's some validity to it.
I said maybe.
So that's why he walked in the office.
Yeah. The guy did get traded, by the way. But
you just validated what everybody else was saying.
But you know what, though? Here's the point. You say don't lie. I can say what you guys said, which is, I haven't traded you yet. Nothing I've said yes to. You're on this team. I can do that. I could say no and lie. No, I'm not trading you. I'm obviously not going to say, yes, I am trading you if I don't have a trade.
Right.
So I said, I don't know, maybe. But I said, here's the point. There's 14 other guys on the team that would come in here and ask me the same thing, and I would give them the same answer. I go, there's only one guy on this team that I'm telling him he's not getting traded. There's one guy. And so
that's fair.
So I said, just so you know, we can do a line of these guys. You can line everybody up. I can say maybe. And I say, if we don't win and you're not playing well, what is my job? What am I supposed to do?
I'm supposed to evaluate.
That is my job, okay? Like, you get paid a lot of money to do what you do. I got to do what I do. So I always find it fascinating because here's the thing. Let's say everybody here that people don't see on the camera walk into you guys. You're going to fire me? And you go, maybe? Like, you can't. That's not a good answer to tell somebody.
Right, of course.
Because nobody wants to hear it. By the way, the truth is we're all maybes in life, right?
We
are all maybe.
Yeah.
99% of people watching this, maybe there's the 1% that can't get let go. You walk in and say, you going to fire me? The truth is maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe.
There's always somebody that's a better option.
Right. Or if you F up,
there's always somebody that's a better option.
That's right. And like, maybe the company goes, maybe we got to make cutting costs. And so in that moment, I told the player, I go, listen, I could lie, but I'm not going to lie. Not because I'm not going to lie to you, but because I got to go to bed at night knowing I didn't lie. I'm not going to lie.
I got a challenge. I want to dive deeper into your decision making and how did you get there? Because I know me being young and you being part of the management group for me as a young player. When I look at agents, I sometimes wonder, are they really like watching games and understanding what's been going on, in the game, not with the team, but actually on the court. For you to have that role and then go to the executive side and know how to build a championship team, like when did that come for you? Where did that come from?
You get so much closer to someone as an agent, I think. You and I's relationship, think of all the stuff we went through together, but I got to know you, and what I realized was getting to know a player, really trying to get to know them, you develop a trust. And if you can do that as an executive, then you got a real shot at winning, because when I was with the Warriors, when you have a team like that, the truth is, and I don't think anybody's trying to, the truth is everybody's trying to tear it apart, because that creates news and drama. And it's so easy to do it, right? Picture you guys are on that team. Hey, Vince, your numbers are down. And you're like, yeah, but we've won 7 in a row. And like, I know, but you were averaging 25 last year. Now you're 22. Like, are you worried about your numbers? Or your family's saying that. Or you're feeling it. Or all of a sudden, shoe sales are down. Make it up. And somebody writes an article that you don't think you care. Vince's numbers he's shooting 4 less shots a game, and then you don't read it, but somebody sends it to you, your mom or dad. You good with this? And you go, I think we're winning. So it starts messing you up.
For sure.
And messing you up. So when you're in these situations, what should seem obvious is, how do I convince you or try to get you to understand winning? We're here to win.
Yeah.
And that requires now, and maybe more so now, every day, that kind of like constant just discussion and environment and culture that is really hard to do. And so that, I think, getting to know a player to me is what I took from that. And then as far as evaluating, like talking to you, being around like a very young coach, like hearing how it felt like to be you guys, like a star, and play in the NBA.
Yeah.
And watch you and watch what was important to you, and knowing you through Antoine, and like seeing what moved you guys. Like, what did you need to succeed? Because you guys were like, we're casting a movie and you're the star.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the hardest thing to get. But now it's kind of like, what does Vince need around him? What does Tracy need around him? And I don't know that you two ever fully got that.
Yeah. No.
Right? I know you didn't.
No.
He got a little bit more help, but you did not get. You were cast in a movie where like there was no budget, or it just didn't work out with Grant. It just didn't work out.
It's time to pick a side. Presented by FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. And our betting line today: will the Warriors win over or under 45 games? We got Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry.
Jimmy Butler's not there yet.
Huh?
Will he be ready?
He's on the roster.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Draymond Green, Moody is going to be out, right, towards Achilles.
Draft pick, the young fella from Michigan.
I like him, the young fella, but it's going to take him some time. Kaczynski, where you at with it? Remember, I told you 45 in that Western Conference, 50.
We already said there was like 6 teams there. So there's somebody who's not going to be a part of that 50 win, and I think the Warriors are part of that group. I think they fall just short of 45 wins.
And are you saying because you think health, or you just don't think they have a constructed roster that can get them 45 wins?
I'm saying there's a lot of very good teams in the West, out there above them. So I think a little bit of
You're going under.
I think just under.
I actually, because they'll say they're going to win 45. I think it'll be right around.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So I'm going to say 45.
So you're saying they're going to hit the number?
I'm saying they're going to hit the number. I don't think they're going to go over.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to be under. I think they're going to hit 45. I think they're going to land on 45 wins. I think
the West is so good.
It is. It is so good. And I just think their age is going to have an impact on them winning a lot.
But they will be
in
in
their
playoff
health.
contention.
But I think they will be a play-in team at 45 wins. And I'm going with that.
All right, there you have it. Log on to FanDuel and let us know what you think. He says they hit the number. I say slightly under. What do you say? Let us know.
So when you look at what was built, the core guys on that Golden State team, it's starting to fizzle its way out, right? Those guys are starting to go into, the back end of their careers. How do you then continue, right? Once your superstar is on his way out, how do you continue what you built with that core group to then find that when your superstar guy is on his way out? How do you that's got to be, and I know you haven't been through that.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I don't know that that's totally possible.
Yeah.
I mean, the Spurs with Tim Duncan, I think stayed
That's very rare.
very rare, but you guys tell me like what player
Can hold
and you know what I'd love to like see, like, sure, you'd love to give that star the help to win a championship. Like I look at Jason Kidd in Dallas. He was at the end, but he had Dirk and he was still J Kidd and he was good enough to help a team win, but he didn't have to put a team on his back.
Right.
But you know how rare that is. And I don't remember if he took less money or how he ended up there, but there's a hard part where you two, I could ask you guys, to be who you were as players, you have to have an ego. That's fine.
For sure.
You have to believe you're the best.
Yes.
Then to start recognizing like, maybe I'm not that dude. And you, probably because of health, stayed. You had your knee stuff. You couldn't like play as long as till what 40, whatever you were.
43.
He just was like, I'm shooting threes and I'm loving playing basketball.
Yeah.
But you didn't. And I'm not saying you would have done this, Tracy, because you might have had you have been healthy, done the same thing he did.
Right.
But Vince, you of many rare guys were kind of like, I don't need to be that guy.
Yeah.
You understand? Like and it looked like you were having fun.
I loved it.
Yeah. But a lot of guys can't make that switch.
And see, that was the hardest transition for me, and I know that was for him because I would joke with him sometimes like, they come back and he just couldn't handle, like, I don't want to be in that role.
Yeah.
It took me a while to accept the changing of the guard for me. I mean, as far as the changing of the role. And then as I became a sixth man and a role player, diminished minutes to, the back end of my career, it's like loving the game of basketball was more important than anything else.
Yeah.
Like I was like, if I'm not playing this game, what would I be doing myself? The towel wasn't completely wrung dry.
Right.
So I'm like, all right. So you have to figure out how to exist. You have to buy in. So find your love, find your passion, still play. Like I still put the work in, make sure I was able to play, but it was just the other stuff of basketball when you're in your 40s that got in the way.
Yep.
But for a very long time, I've said, okay, how do I still have that starter's mentality coming off the bench?
Yeah.
And figuring it out. That was the, as the scale started to tip a little bit.
Yeah.
How do I get to somewhere where I can even it out?
Yeah.
And that was, there's a lot of the guys from that era who was not willing to do
and
that.
did you not, was yours a health thing or were you kind of like mentally, I'm not up for that? And I'm not saying one's right or wrong. I don't know.
So had I stayed healthy, my mindset would have been a little bit different.
Than that.
So because I had microfracture surgery, right? My mindset now shifts from trying to contribute to a winning team, trying to contribute that way and finding my role to, shit, man, I gotta see if I can make a roster.
Yeah.
I gotta see if I can make a roster again, right? So that was me with
The knee.
Yeah. So
And that's a different thing.
Yeah. So it was different for me in the
not
way
in
I
pain.
approached
Like you
it.
can't, if it doesn't feel good, you're also like, why am I pushing through a knee
Right.
that won't go?
So again, I'm on the rosters, but now politics starting to kick in to what he was speaking on, trying to find your way,
knowing that you can give more to a team that
they're willing to give me.
They're willing to give you.
Yeah.
Because I'm on the back end in the 40s. I know once I got on the court, like I know plus minus is a thing. It's not a fan favorite of mine.
Right.
But I'm like, what do you see when I'm out there? Do I contribute? Do I help the team or do I hurt the team?
Yeah.
And in the 40s, they're like, okay, yeah, we know that, but we got these young guys who drafted that we want to see what they're. But then when they get out there and they play, you get frustrated.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you're throwing guys in the fire who doesn't know anything yet.
You guys, what's different now is every team could use someone like you guys, like you were and you would have been if you didn't get hurt, like telling these guys, right? What's more powerful, you sitting down with Jaylen Brown or anyone else?
Right.
Come on.
Yeah.
Like you talking to a guy about what it's like to be in the NBA or anyone else.
It's impactful, man.
And you guys are kind of like, guys looked up to you to posters on the wall, and I want to be like him. And so even if you were still playing, you guys would be 15 years younger than you.
Correct.
And there's such power in that. But I think a lot of players are like, I don't want to shift into that role. And I'm okay. You don't have to.
It's not for everyone.
I know. I'm just saying, as an executive, I crave that. We had David West. I was like, you got it.
Yeah.
Certain guys.
Xfinity Court Connections introducing Xfinity Shield, a force field for your home. Xfinity, imagine that.
Imagine that.
All right, Bob. So tell us, I guess, someone as competitive and emotional as Draymond, something he doesn't want to hear. So how do you tell?
You just tell him. There's no.
Yeah, don't sugarcoat it.
Yeah,
right. Just be straight up with it. Right?
One time I told Draymond, I said, Draymond, people are actually afraid of you, and I go, I don't know why. You want to win is his biggest motivation. He does want to win, and so if you come to Draymond and say, if he believes you and he trusts you, and you say, this is what will help us win, he actually will listen to that. Now, he may tell you how he hears it, may not be it may be a complicated conversation, but you have to just hit him, just be honest with the guy.
I don't know Draymond, but I do think has a great basketball mind. And I think, just my opinion, when you're talking to Draymond, one, you got to know what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
You got to know what you're talking about. You can't come with no bullshit. You got to come correct. And if you come correct, I think he will give you the respect that you know.
And more than any other player that I ever worked with, game 32, our team's, 20-12, we lost 2 in a row. He's the one that would call me on the ride home. He's the one. What the fuck are we doing? We got to fix this. His care for the team, and I think that's one thing that people miss about Draymond is because obviously he's done some stuff that make people criticize. For sure, he's done it.
Yeah.
But as far as like his desire to like win and make sure everything is moving that direction is strong, more than I've seen in a player. Very, very strong.
Drinking and driving is a decision that will change your whole world. Things will never be the same once you get a DUI, because legal fees and time in court are just the beginning.
Getting into a crash is another way your world could be irreversibly changed after drinking and driving. Your vehicle may not be the only thing that gets damaged in this crash. You could face a life-altering injury or even death, but you're not the only one who could face those consequences.
Your decision to drink and drive could permanently change someone else's world, whether you injure them or leave their loved ones grieving. The next time you're out drinking, call a rideshare, a taxi, a sober friend, or a designated sober driver.
The only decision that will change your world for the better is the decision to call for a sober ride. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
All right, we're going to move into our NHTSA sponsor segment. Game-changing decisions presented by NHTSA. Drunk driving changes your world. Drive sober, get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA. All right, what was the hardest basketball decision you ever had to make in your Golden State in the Golden State era?
Trading Iguodala. We had to trade Iguodala, who had won 3 championships with the team in 2019, to sign D'Angelo Russell. And the way he took it, the professionalism, made it. As far as a player handling a tough thing, that I've never seen one do it as well as he did. in that moment. To call a guy that's, when you talk about personal, making it personal, and to say, we are trading you, we traded him to Memphis. And he knew it was like not a team, it was trying to win. It wasn't like we were putting him in a situation. By the way, he ended up going to the Heat and going to the finals again after that, going 5 years in a row with the Warriors. He went 6 with Miami. But Andre looked at me and he said, I understand. Like, you got to do it. And it wasn't a bitter, I mean, of course, I'm sure he felt a certain way, but it wasn't fair. It wasn't fair. It wasn't right. Like when you do things where a player does so much for you and your organization and you make a decision where he deserved better. He deserved better. And there was no easy way around it.
And that was just the business side of basketball that was you can't control.
Yeah, you can't control. But also, like, I did my job. The thing I miss and loved was the relationships. I don't talk to these rings I have at my house. I don't watch old highlights and stuff. I call Draymond Green. I call Steph Curry. I'll call Iguodala. That's what I miss. So when you treat someone that way, it hurts.
Yeah.
So that was the hardest decision. Some people do these things for money or fame or like Hall of Fame, whatever. I just want to know the people I work with and have relationships. That's all I want. Because that's I think the thing, like you and I, like I just want it to last, but people don't. Anyways, for a different podcast, I wish people valued that a little bit more.
I want to kind of go back because I asked you the question about, building, and you just answered it. I find it interesting. So I asked you the question about how do you go through that transition period when you start out and you finally find that core group to build right for that championship, and then once that fizzles out, like you're gonna have, you're gonna fall off for a few years, but then building that back up. And I find it interesting. You actually hired the guy that actually have done that with Cleveland. What was his name?
Mike Gansey.
Mike, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, and I think you need, I'll tell you what, when you, as an executive at least, having been in the moments where, each playoff series, it levels up, right?
Yeah.
Everything levels up. The tension, the praise, the criticism. I mean, people forget, Curry would get crushed in between playoff games. I remember I asked him one time, I was like, how do you do this? Literally, like before he was this Steph Curry, he'd have a bad playoff game. People would crush him.
Yeah.
And I was like, how do you function? And he's elite. I always say this about Steph. His best trait is his authentic confidence. You know how guys like, his confidence to shoot the way he does. You guys played. Like, you missed 10 threes in a row. You guys might be like, maybe it's not.
I'm going to make 11.
I know, but yes, his confidence. And so when you go through these things, you like to get someone that's like been through in that space. And then I thought you were going to ask something else. When you're building these teams, I always would walk in the locker room before a playoff game, and I would look around. And did you guys do this too? And you'd look around your teammates.
Man, before the game, I'm looking around. Yes.
And you'd you'd pass like 4 guys, and you'd stop on one guy, and you'd go, I'm glad he's going to die out here to win.
Yeah.
As many of those guys as you can get. Does that make sense?
Yes. Absolutely.
When you build a team, because you go, And I always used to, when I was with the Warriors, I'd stop at like Clay, Steph, Draymond, Livingston, like all these guys. Boom, boom, boom.
It was easy. You're like,
I was
already know these guys are ready.
We'd be down. People forget we were down 10 at the half in elimination games at halftime against Houston. And I walk in there and look around, and I was, as an executive, you're so helpless. I can't play. Like if we're down 10 and you guys, I go, Vince, Tracy, we're fucked. And you go, relax. I go, relax. How the
impossible?
You go, we got this. You go, we got it. And I go, what do you got? Why? If you got it so good, why are we down 10 at half?
There's a sense, or there's a feel from the flow of the first half. Like you know how they're playing. You know the necessary adjustments you need to make, and then you tell yourself you're gonna play better in the second half.
And
right?
you're like, okay, we more than likely just took their best.
Like But you guys know how great that is to feel like you can do something. Be me.
Yeah.
We got it. We got it.
Well,
what the fuck? Like,
win.
Yeah, how? Like, what are you waiting for? Like, we're down 10. So as many of those guys as you can get gives you the best shot. So,
Bob, I got one last question to close it. When you finally walk away from basketball, let's just say you have however many rings, you want people to remember you as what?
I honestly just want people to say he was a decent guy. He's a good guy. Not some genius GM, he's the architect. He's a good dude. Like when we see each other.
He contributed to winning.
Yeah, but I want to know that like we went through something together and we got to know each other and we did something together and we did it the right way.
And you did it the right way.
We did it the right way. And that's it, because what else? I mean, I don't know what, I'm sure you ask a lot of people that. I don't know what on your tombstone is it going to say? People going to give a shit if you got 6 rings or 2 or what? It doesn't fucking matter.
You can add that on there.
No, but yeah. And then the weeds grow and then it gets knocked over. And then who gives? Nobody cares.
Yeah. No, I think just going through it, you know, building those relationships and doing it the right way.
That's
man.
it. Simple.
Yeah.
You get older, it gets
Yeah.
clearer.
Yeah.
Family, friends.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
So,
All right, good people. Well, that's a wrap. Bob, we thank you.
Thank you.
We wanted to give you your flowers and let the people know about you, kind of go behind the scenes of some of the great things that you've done and what you're doing. We thank you for that.
No, we're bringing him back because we got more. Yeah, we got some more we got to get into.
Stay tuned for part 2 with Bob Myers.
Yeah.
It's on the way. Cuzzo,
y'all know what to do. Make sure you subscribe, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts, and be sure to follow the guys on social at Vince and T Mac. It's another episode of Cousins. We out.
Cousins.